white crystal dissolves on your tongue. It makes coffee taste warm and familiar. It turns sour fruit into candy. It sits quietly in jars on kitchen tables around the world, innocent and pure. Humans have spent 500 years killing for it, lying for it, and engineering entire food systems around it. Sugar. But this crystal is not what you think it is. In the 1960s, scientists at one of the most respected universities in the world buried evidence and rewrote nutrition science to protect it. 50 years later, your brain lights up when you taste it the same way a cocaine addict's brain lights up when they use. Two mysteries hide in plain sight. How did the sweetest ingredient in your kitchen become the bloodiest commodity in human history? And why does almost everything you eat today contain a substance you never asked for? This video is about how sugar became the most successful legal drug in human history. Not about cavities or weight gain, but about how one substance destroyed continents, bought science, and addicted 99% of the world's population without anyone noticing. How did a simple plant turn into the white crystal that controls what you eat today? The sweet discovery. Sugar did not start as a crystal. It started as a plant that most of the world had never seen. Sugarcane originated in New Guinea around 8,000 years before Christ. For thousands of years, people in Southeast Asia chewed the raw stalks for their sweet juice. But the idea of refining that juice into crystals, that came much later. Persian chemists in the 7th century after Christ developed the first methods for boiling cane juice until it hardened into something transportable. They called it shakar. The Arabs learned the technique and brought it west during their expansion across North Africa and into Spain. By the 11th century, Crusaders returning from the Holy Land carried back small amounts of what they called sweet salt. It was rare, it was expensive, and it was controlled by a handful of merchants who understood its power. In medieval Europe, sugar cost more than most spices. A single pound could buy you a cow. Only royalty and the wealthiest families could afford it. They displayed it at feasts like gold, carved into sculptures of saints and animals, a symbol of wealth and divine favor. But sugar had a problem that would shape the next 500 years of human history. Sugar cane only grows in hot, humid climates. You cannot plant it in England or France or Germany. And the process of turning cane into crystal requires brutal, constant labor. The stalks must be cut by hand. The juice must be boiled immediately, or it spoils. The work destroys bodies. European merchants saw an opportunity. If they could find land with the right climate and a labor force they did not have to pay, they could turn this rare luxury into an empire. So they went looking for both. And they found the Caribbean, a chain of islands with perfect soil, endless sun, and millions of people an ocean away who could be bought, shipped, and worked to death. The sweet discovery was about to become the bloodiest industry in human history. White gold and human ash. Before sugar became a scientific weapon, it was a literal one. For 300 years, it built empires and destroyed entire populations. The Portuguese brought sugarcane to Brazil in 1532. The Spanish planted it across the Caribbean. The British turned Jamaica, Barbados, and dozens of islands into sugar factories. But sugarcane is not an easy crop. It grows tall and thick with fibrous stalks that must be cut by hand. The juice inside spoils quickly, so it has to be boiled within hours of harvest. Boiling requires fire, heavy iron pots, and workers who can endure heat that reaches 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Europeans tried to do this work themselves, They died, so they bought people. Between 1500 and 1800, European ships carried more than 12 million Africans across the Atlantic Ocean. Historians estimate that 40% of them went to sugar plantations. Not cotton, not tobacco, sugar. The work was so brutal that the average life expectancy on a Caribbean plantation was 7 years. Workers woke before dawn, cut cane under the sun until their hands bled, then spent the night boiling juice in rooms filled with steam and smoke. If they slowed down, overseers beat them. If they ran, dogs hunted them. If they survived, malaria or yellow fever often finished what exhaustion started. But sugar production kept growing. By 1700, the tiny island of Barbados produced more wealth for Britain than all 13 American colonies combined. Sugar was not a luxury. It was the foundation of the modern global economy. Investors in London, Lisbon, and Amsterdam built their fortunes on it, and the price was paid in bodies. The sweetest ingredient in your kitchen has the bitterest history in the world. Every spoonful carries the weight of millions of people who were treated as fuel for a machine that valued profit over life. The Harvard Conspiracy. In 1967, 3 scientists at Harvard University published a review in one of the most important medical journals in the world. The New England Journal of Medicine carried authority. When it spoke, doctors listened. Governments listened. The paper examined dozens of studies about heart disease, the leading cause of death in wealthy countries. Their conclusion was clear and simple. Fat was killing Americans. Butter, eggs, meat, cream. The enemy was on your plate, and it was greasy. But there was a problem. The scientists did not mention who paid them to write it. The Sugar Research Foundation, an organization funded by Coca-Cola, Hershey's, and the largest sugar producers in the world, had given them the equivalent of $50,000 in today's money. Internal documents discovered in 2016 revealed the truth. The foundation had handpicked which studies the scientists could review. They had shaped the questions the paper would ask. They wanted one outcome: remove suspicion from sugar and aim it at fat. The strategy worked. For the next 50 years, governments around the world told people to eat less fat. The United States Department of Agriculture built its food pyramid on this advice. Food companies removed fat from thousands of products: yogurt, cookies, salad dressing, bread, even peanut butter. But when you remove fat from food, it tastes like cardboard. So the companies added something else to make it edible again: sugar. The low-fat era began. Shelves filled with products labeled healthy, light, heart smart. People bought them thinking they were making better choices. But obesity rates in the United States doubled between 1980 and 2000. Heart disease did not go down. It went up. Type 2 diabetes, once rare, became common. The Harvard scientists had not made a mistake. They had followed orders, and the sugar industry had won the greatest scientific cover-up in modern history. The bliss point. Sugar does something to your brain that almost no other food can do. It does not just taste good, it rewrites how pleasure works. In the 1990s, a scientist named Howard Moskowitz was hired by food companies to solve a problem. People were not buying enough soda, candy, or cereal. The companies wanted to know why. Moskowitz ran thousands of experiments. He changed the sweetness level in drinks and snacks by tiny fractions. 1% more sugar, 0.5% less. He fed these variations to hundreds of people and measured their reactions. What he found changed the food industry forever. There is a precise amount of sugar that makes the human brain light up like a Christmas tree. Not too much, Or you feel sick, not too little, or you lose interest. Exactly in the middle. Moskowitz called it the bliss point. At this level, sugar triggers a flood of dopamine, a brain chemical that makes you feel pleasure. The same substance your brain releases during sex, winning money, or using cocaine. But unlike those experiences, the bliss point does not make you feel full or satisfied. It makes you want more. Food engineers now use this formula in almost everything: ketchup, bread, salad dressing, crackers, yogurt, frozen meals. Even foods that do not taste sweet contain sugar, hidden under 61 different names on ingredient labels: dextrose, maltodextrin, evaporated cane juice. The goal is not to feed you, it is to keep you eating. Scientists tested this mechanism on laboratory rats. They gave the rats two options: water mixed with sugar or water mixed with cocaine. The rats could press a lever to get either one. After a few days, the rats ignored the cocaine. They pressed the sugar lever obsessively, even when researchers tried to stop them. Their brains had been hijacked. The bliss point does not care whether you are a rat or a human. It works the same way. Food companies did not discover a recipe. They discovered a drug. The invisible addiction. You do not think about sugar when you eat a sandwich. You do not taste it in tomato sauce or canned soup. But it is there. Walk into any supermarket and pick up 10 random products. 8 of them will contain added sugar: bread, crackers, peanut butter, salad dressing, barbecue sauce, breakfast cereal, granola bars marketed as healthy. Even baby food. Food companies have spent decades engineering products to hit the bliss point without you noticing. They do not want you to think of these foods as sweet. They want you to think of them as normal. And it worked. The average person today consumes 17 teaspoons of added sugar every day. That is 75 grams, triple the amount health organizations recommend. But unlike alcohol or cigarettes, sugar does not come with a warning label. You do not feel drunk after eating it. You do not smell like it. There is no obvious moment when you realize you have had too much. The addiction is invisible. In 1971, the United States faced a problem. Corn farmers were producing too much corn and prices were collapsing. So the government stepped in with subsidies, billions of dollars in taxpayer money. Corn became the cheapest crop in the country. A Japanese scientist had already discovered how to turn cornstarch into high fructose corn syrup. By 1980, food companies had replaced sugar with this syrup in almost everything. The reason was not taste. It was profit. The syrup cost half as much as sugar. Suddenly, adding sweetness to products did not hurt the bottom line. It improved it. Portion sizes exploded. A soda in 1955 was 6.5 ounces. By 2000, it was 20 ounces. The companies were not just sweetening your food. They were increasing the dose. Your brain has been trained to expect sweetness in everything. When you eat food without added sugar, it tastes bland, unsatisfying, wrong. That is not an accident. Food companies have recalibrated your palate over the course of your entire life. They started when you were a child, with fruit snacks and chocolate milk and cereals shaped like cartoon characters. By the time you were old enough to choose your own food, your brain had already decided what normal tasted like. And normal meant sweet. The white crystal on your kitchen table is not just an ingredient. It is the result of 500 years of power, manipulation, and survival. And it is still winning. The sugar on your spoon traveled through centuries of slavery, scientific fraud, and corporate engineering to reach you. It was never just about sweetness. It was about control. Control over labor, over science, over your brain, and over what you believe is normal. The same substance that built empires and destroyed populations now hides in 80% of the food you buy, engineered to a mathematical formula that keeps you coming back without ever feeling satisfied. This video took weeks of research and writing to put together. If it changed how you see the white crystal in your kitchen, leave a like. And maybe next time you reach for something sweet, you will remember the cost.